Right.
All right, looks like I'm recording. Hey there, Team Pursuit Fitness. Took me a second. I almost called this Fitfluence. All right, so welcome to our Monday meeting, Tanya. Woohoo! So Liz is normally here. She has a good excuse. I'm gonna share her good excuse that she's actually talking to some people about challenge packs, which I would much rather her be doing than catching this call live. But if you are catching this recording, we would love to have you join us live. It makes for better conversation, and then we can hit on the issues and address the stuff that's most important to you. And who knows, like a lot of times we'll be talking and something will come up that we can address right then, questions that you didn't realize you had. If you have things that you want us to address or talk about, shoot them in a message to me or pop them in the thread, because I don't want to just make up stuff that I think you want to know. So yeah, we'll move on. I want to hit a couple quick announcements, and then Tanya and I are just going to kind of talk our way through some stuff, and because she's on live. So I'll share a little bit of information, and then we'll work on some of the things that she's got going on because she joined me live. First thing I want to make sure you guys are all aware of, because you probably got like a text message and you probably got emails from Beachbody talking about November to Remember. November to Remember is this month's kind of takeoff on the Team Cup idea. Now, if you're brand new, you don't know what Team Cup is, it doesn't matter to you. But basically, the idea of November to Remember is to grab a partner and just push each other and work as hard as you can for the month of November to basically move your business forward. There's opportunity for a sweet hat if you hit Success Club, but you have to be on a November to Remember pair, hit Success Club to get the hat. And then if you're one of the top Success Club point earning teams in your region, hold on a second. My cat hit my light. Hold on. Dang cat. All right. I was wondering why it started blinking at me. There's a chance to win some money, and then there's also a chance to earn towards a charity. But the biggest part of this is to be working with somebody else, pushing each other, and having some ideas to move your business forward. So if you want to do that and you need a partner, let me know. I can try to help pair you up. If you find somebody within our team, that's awesome. But you don't have to keep it just within our team. If you want to do November to Remember and you don't have a partner, pop a post in Fitfluence and say that you want to do it. Because those are just a really good opportunity to meet other people, see other styles, and get other ideas. Double Time, for those of you that are not paying attention, is coming out. It is coming out just over a week, November 1st, right, Tanya? Is it November 1st?
I don't know. I have it that I'm doing it starting the 13th, but I don't have
I think it comes out the 1st. But regardless, Beachbody, because of November to Remember and because of the launch of Double Time, if you sell a Double Time all access annual challenge pack or one of the regular Double Time challenge packs, they're doing it either with Shakeology or Daily Sunshine. You're going to get 3 Success Club points. Now, when I say it's the Double Time all annual access challenge pack, it's basically, from what I can tell, is exactly the same as the regular annual all access challenge pack. You get exactly the same stuff. I need to verify that, but I believe all you're going to have to do is when you send out a link or you have somebody order, have them order it as the Double Time annual all access challenge pack. It's exactly the same, but you'll get 3 points versus 2, which means you can hit Success Club by helping 2 people get started. Now, the cool part with Double Time coming out is it's an opportunity to really enhance the value of what the challenge pack is. We know the value of this streaming. We know the programs in there and how really there's stuff for everybody. And there already was stuff for kids and youth. But when you can talk about a program that's designed to get adults and kids working together, just to have fun and get moving, it's a lot more attractive. Now, if you're somebody like Tanya and you want to push that, are you going to do that just as its own group, or are you going to have other stuff at the same time?
Just that. Just a week of that.
Okay. Cool. So it's a great opportunity to really just showcase what we have. And if you have kids, highlight the heck out of it. Or if you have, a young neighbor or a niece or nephew that's nearby, take some video and talk about, what it was. Interview the kid involved. Share that with your social media so that people get a better feel for what it is. Now, is it going to be a good workout for Tanya? Probably not so much if she's working with her kid. Like, she's going to get a little sweat on, but Chick's been doing some pretty hardcore workouts. But it's not, the idea is just to be moving and having fun. So definitely pay attention to that. And especially those extra Success Club points, those never hurt. Also on November 6th, they're releasing a sneak peek live stream of A Little Obsessed. What they're going to do is for 5 days, starting November 6th, they're going to show a live stream of 80-Day Obsession. So each day they're going to do a new workout. I forget what time it's going to roll out, and then it'll be on demand for 24 hours after that. So you can get on and actually do the workout live as it's being filmed, or you can catch it within that 24 hours, but it's going to be a full week sneak peek. So you're going to get 5 different workouts starting on November 6th. And that's something that you'll want to share with people. That's something that may get them interested in trying out the streaming. Say, hey, this new program is going to be coming out in January. You can try it live with this awesome sneak peek. So make sure you're talking with people about that as part of, again, that value of the challenge pack. The last thing I was going to share is I love the yoga library. I'm all over the yoga library. And they continue to add to the yoga library. And they actually added a 5-day yoga program. I don't know if you saw that, Tanya. But there's a 5-day yoga program. It's a totally different instructor. And so there's some new stuff in there. So make sure you're continually checking it out. I was looking to try to figure out my next program. My knee has been bothering me, so I can't do what I had planned. And I'm looking at doing PiYo, but I didn't know if I wanted to do just PiYo. So I started looking at some of the hybrid options. And there is a PiYo P90X3 hybrid within the streaming library for me. So be aware and start to pay attention to some of those things. The other thing, I haven't been in the PiYo library in a long time, and I already knew that they offered some of the live classes from PiYo in there, but they were only the express ones. They were the 30-minute ones. Well, they've added 4 or 5 that are the full 60-minute class. So if you were to actually go to PiYo Live and take a full class, they have 4 or 5 of them in there. And they have that for some of the other live formats. So be aware of that as you're talking about the value. You want to share that. So the meat of this call and what we really want to talk about is where Tanya's kind of getting stuck right now, which I imagine is where a lot of you are getting stuck or you're going to be really soon. We talk about, building relationships. This is a relational business. This isn't about just making a sale, because the reality is the work doesn't start until after the sale is made. Right? Like, your real work with these prospects and customers is after they've made their purchase. Like, for other businesses, oftentimes that's where the relationship kind of ends. Like, you got the sale, you have a little bit of customer service here and there, but it's a little different. But how do you transition from, okay, you're meeting new people, you're friending new people, you're talking to new people. How do you invite new people? Is that kind of where you're stuck, Tanya?
Yes.
So tell me specifically, is it for you, it's the people you're meeting in person or both?
Right. Yeah. People I'm meeting in person.
Okay. So I know we have other military people in here and other people that move around a lot. And so it's really cool when we get to move because we get to meet new people. And for me, I use this business to force myself out of the house to go to events that I don't want to go to so that I can meet new people. And so how do we meet them and then transition into that business opportunity? Especially a lot of us are church people. It's not really cool to go meet somebody at Bible study and to be like, hey, by the way, want to buy this thing?
That's exactly where I met them.
Exactly. And that's where I met Tanya, was at Bible study. Because you also don't want to look like you're going in like hunting down people like to prospect. Because that's kind of cheesy too. So do they know that you do Beachbody?
One of them I am friends with on Facebook, so she sees my stuff, and I asked her just into that
Okay. So one of the things I recommend, especially when you're seeing people, in a group setting, wear and share. Wear something that's Team Beachbody, a Beachbody shirt, or like a recognized program. Like if you've completed a program, that's one of the reasons it's so awesome to send in your results. So you get that free swag. Whenever I go anywhere, even if I'm just drinking water, I make sure I have my Shakeology bottle because then people are aware of it. They see it. I have my big Coach sweatshirt. So I like to wear that out. So I don't have to always like mention what I do. When I meet people, I try to friend request them right away on Facebook. I will like kind of jot down their name because I'm terrible with names. And then I go hunt them down on Facebook. And then I shoot them a private message saying like, hey, it was awesome to meet you. Thanks for accepting my friend request. Just so that I have that interaction then on Facebook as well. It makes it a little bit easier. Obviously, as we're meeting people in real life, it can be really delicate because we don't want to scare them away because especially if you're a woman, I don't know how it is for you guys out there, but I know for a woman, like relationships are a big deal, especially when you move a lot. And so you don't want to hurt that. For me, the biggest thing is always know when your next group is. Because once you've started talking and you have a little bit of a friendship with someone, you can kind of do that almost an indirect, like, hey, I do this all the time. I did this with people that I met at Bunko. So actually, before I went to Bunko, I happened to be in this Bunko invite. So I actually saw all the people that said they were going. And so I started friend requesting them before Bunko. And I just shot the messages saying, hey, thanks for accepting my friend request. I see that you're going to Bunko. I look forward to meeting you in real life. And so then when I saw them, I kind of had a name and a face. And then after Bunko, I had a better connection. Then I went to another Bunko, started talking to people, and guess what? I had a group. So I shot them very innocently, very randomly, like, hey, I don't know if this is anything you're interested in. There's this thing I do. I do these virtual fitness and nutrition groups. Is that something that you would ever be interested in? And I kind of do it a little bit more indirect. And I've had a couple people like, not so much, or, what is that? But the other key is, when you friend them on Facebook, you want to make sure that you're continuing to like their stuff, comment on their stuff so that your stuff will start to show up in their thread. And then you want to make sure, like, yes, on your personal pages, you don't want to go like all Beachbody, all crazy all the time if that's not who you are. But you want to make sure that there's enough there that they kind of know you do something, that you're kind of into something. One of the things that I'm really bad at and I'm getting better at is asking more questions, getting to know people. The more questions you ask, the more you're actually going to get to share about yourself. I'm learning this. You don't need to vomit all over everybody what you do. But when you talk to people, like, you'll hear a lot through the Beachbody world. A simple formula, it's FORM. It's an acronym. It's family, occupation, recreation, and then a message. The idea is you're asking people questions about themselves, asking about their family. Where are they from? Especially if you're a moving family, where did you grow up? Where did you live? What do you do for a living? What did you do before you were married? The more questions you ask, what's the natural response? If I was like, oh, hey, Tanya, like, what do you do for work? You'd be like, I do photography. I do Beachbody. What do you do? Right? Like, our normal nature is to then ask, well, what is it that you do? But when you start to ask some of these questions, when you start to find out about people's families, you find out about the kind of work they're in, you find out what they do for fun, you start to also find out some of their needs, some of the gaps that Beachbody can fill in. You can find out if I talk to somebody and they're like, they seem super busy and they're always on the go. Like, I ask them about their schedule. Like, what's your schedule like? You seem like super busy. Do you ever get run down? I'll ask people flat out, are you taking care of yourself? How are you taking care of yourself? And then if they're like, I just kind of don't, I just keep going. Then I might say, well, look, I don't know if you're interested at all, but I have this group coming up. It's coming up, November 6th. Would you be interested in more information? And I'll tell people right up front, I'm like, look, I utilize Beachbody programs and products, and I do these virtual fitness groups. And then I'll ask them, I sometimes don't even say, would you like more information? I'll actually say, can I send you some information? Because most people are going to say, sure, send it to me, which then gives me an excuse to follow up, which is always super helpful. And those messages, they can be very indirect, or they can be direct right to the point. And as you get to know people, you'll kind of figure out a little bit like what works for certain people, what works for your personality. But a lot of times mine is like, hey, I have this group. I don't know if you're interested. Can I send you some information? If they tell me no, that's cool. I'll often, try to figure out like why. Lately, the biggest objections I'm getting is bad timing. Are people telling you it's just a bad time, Tanya?
No, it's just
Money?
the other excuses. Yeah. Money. I don't want to drink that stuff. Yeah.
So for a lot of the people I've been talking to lately, money is often an issue. But a lot of people, it's bad timing. I've had a couple people that they've had crazy things come up in their life, personal medical issues, family emergencies, just bizarre stuff. And like, you'll find that where like just everybody all of a sudden has crap going on at once. So when somebody like tells me the timing isn't good, I said, well, is it a timing thing? Is this something you might be interested down the road? And usually because it's easier for them to not just say no, they'll be like, yeah, sure. So then I'll let them know, hey, I do this every month. If it's okay with you, I'd love to just, keep you in the loop and let you know when I have other groups in case the timing is better. Most often they'll be like, yeah, sure, that's cool. My favorite now with the price objection is now being able to offer Clean Week. I actually have a Clean Week group going right now. I was super hesitant about Clean Week. I did not want to try to sell Clean Week to people. And I'm going to be straight up honest. I shared a live video in Fitfluence page, but I'm good at talking people into going straight for the challenge pack, especially with the money back guarantee, talking the value of it, all the good stuff. I'll often get somebody that's willing to purchase it and give a try. I didn't want to go with the Clean Week route because my fear was they're going to get Clean Week and then they're not going to want Shakeology later. When the reality is most likely if they try Clean Week and they actually do it, they're going to want to continue with streaming. They're going to, because they can see all the programs that they don't have access to. So they can see it all. So they can see what's there. So they're going to want that. And there's great package options for that. But my big fear was, they're going to do a week of Shakeology and say, I don't want it. And of course, we don't want to limit ourselves to that because I've had a lot of people not want Shakeology to begin with that have eventually come around because of being in groups and getting good value and seeing other people's results with Shakeology. That was my big fear. Didn't want to do it. But I had 4 people actually purchase it. I had people that somebody had a huge price objection. I had somebody else that didn't like Shakeology when I gave her a sample, didn't want to do it. I had somebody else that really wanted a challenge pack, but her husband didn't want her to spend the money. And when I told her about this option, she was like, well, he won't notice $30. Let me try that. And then hopefully it'll go so well, he'll want me to buy it. I'm like, okay. And then another girl was in my community. She did one of my free clean eating groups and was interested in trying it out because why not? You can figure out what flavor you want before you order the whole deal. So for me, I was like, I'm so hesitant. But now, what a great way. If somebody's like, because you always have people that say, I so need to lose weight. I have to do this. I'm desperate. Like they'll say they're desperate, and then you offer them this solution, and you package it, and you hand it to them, and they're like, well, I don't have money. But you just watch them buy 15 LuLaRoe things, and you're like, of course you don't have money. You just bought 15 dresses that you didn't need. But this option makes it feel like, because dude, I watch it all day. My cousin keeps telling me that she has no money. And I'm like, I know why you don't have money. And that LuLaRoe ain't covering what you need it to cover. But anyway, besides the point. Red. But yeah, so having that option is really nice. And being able to fall back on that is really nice. I'm also psyched because today was day 1. So as an aside, 3 of my people have checked in with their shake out of the 4 that purchased. 2 had already done the workout. The 3rd didn't report that she did the workout, but all 3 liked Shakeology today. So I was like, yes, there's at least one flavor that they like. They might hate all the others, but I can go back to day 1. But it's nice to give them that other option. I know that so just went sidetracked because that happens because I do that. But really, as far as transitioning, it's gonna feel awkward. But the reality is, if you truly have become friends with somebody, it needs to come up in conversation because all of us here, I don't know that anybody in here is doing this just as a business to earn money. like it's changed or affected our life in some way. We wanted the discount because we wanted to continue doing it. Like there's a value there and we know that. So if it's somebody that we've actually grown to like give a darn about, we're going to want to share it. But for me, the biggest thing is always knowing when my next group is, having some of those genuine conversations. And then, you know, if I've only known somebody for like 2 weeks, but I have a group coming up like the next week, I may hold off, or I may say, hey, you know what? You know, I know we just met. I don't know you so well. I don't know if this is something you're into, but I do these groups. And just kind of be super chilled. And again, when we're offering it, we need to not make it look like we're desperate, like we need a sale, we need them to purchase. Because that kind of looks scary and it scares people away. But when it's like, hey, I do this, I would love for you to join. We have a lot of fun. It would be cool. And sort of get a feel for that. Does that help at all, Tanya, or not at all?
Yeah, it does.
That kind of what you were already doing, and they're just like, eh.
Sort of. Well, something I did like right before I hopped on, you know, a couple of weeks ago, we wrote out our schedules through January.
Yep.
I posted this in my ongoing group and said, hey, this is what I'm doing. And then I even put like, if it was a Beachbody program or a on-demand program, I put, I'm running it through on-demand.
Right.
And things like that. And then ask, you know, does any of this look fun to you?
Right.
Something you want to jump into.
Cool. Hey, Spirit. Sorry, my dog's been annoying. I hear her, and she was at the door. She's finally come up to tell me she wants stuff. Yeah, and that's an awesome way to do it. I didn't post mine. I'm glad I didn't, because I keep I've moved stuff around just a little bit. I think I might be adding another kind of fun little group to kind of go along with what I've been doing. But yeah, Tanya brings up a great point. She wrote her stuff out. If you guys have no idea what your plan is for the rest of the year, it's really hard to invite. And we're supposed to be inviting daily, or at least on a regular basis, if not daily, some sort of consistency in our inviting if we wanted to gain any traction at all. But the biggest things, like I said, always have a group that's ongoing. Make sure your social media is showing that you are doing something related to health and fitness, something sort of Beachbody-ish. Maybe not necessarily that you're a coach, but something that, you know, if you're becoming friends with somebody that doesn't already know you and they go to your page, they'll be like, oh, I see you're working out. A lot of the people, when I sent them friend requests when I first got here, they were like, you know, I would just ask them questions. I didn't bring up Beachbody at all. And they're like, maybe you were brought into my life to motivate me. And I'm like, well, funny thing you should ask that, because I can legit do that if you want, you know? I actually said that once or twice. But, you know, it's because it's there, people are seeing it without me having to bring it up. Or, you know, when you're reconnecting with somebody that you used to know a long time ago and they look at your page, they're like, oh, okay, you do that thing, or I've heard of that. But you want to make sure that, you know, there's enough there that if somebody was to quickly scroll to check you out, they have a snapshot and an idea. Until you have a huge following on a like page, a business page, you really do want to use your personal page, you know, probably a couple times a day. There's all these different formulas and people will give you all different opinions. When I started taking my business really seriously, I said, screw the formulas. And I was almost exclusively posting Beachbody stuff. You know, I was posting food, I was posting workouts, I was posting motivation, I was posting business stuff. I had a lot of people hide me. I know they did, because I had family members that had no idea that I was living in a camper down by the lake for 6 weeks. And I'm like, you haven't seen any of this on Facebook? No. I'm like, well, you clearly hid me. And I'm like, and that's fine. But let me tell you, my business took a turn, you know, in the direction that I wanted it to go, because people were seeing it. The more people I was talking to, I didn't have to bring it up. They saw it on my page. You know, the people that I was talking to that said no, because they're like, hey, I don't know what she's talking about, so I'm just going to say no because it's easier. You know, like, because I'll say, hey, I do this virtual health and fitness stuff. And they're like, okay, whatever. But then they see me on my page and they're like, oh. I mean, the one lady at Bunko was like, hey, I saw you messaged me. I saw it. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay if you're not interested. She goes, no, I just didn't message you back. I forgot. I'm like, okay. She goes, are you going to help me lose weight? I'm like, if you want to, like, you know, so we just got to kind of get comfortable putting it out there. again, I just really ask, like, would they be interested in joining my group? I even say that like that. Would you be interested in more information on joining my group? And yeah, there is a 5-step invitation process through Beachbody. I've got to figure out where the heck it is now in this new office setup. I know you can find it on YouTube through Beachbody, but I'll post it. There's some good stuff. I mean, it's quirky, it's cheesy, but it just gives you just general idea and flow of conversations, and where you can hear what people are saying, and start to pick up on what they're needing more of. Start to look at some of your pain points. For a lot of the people I'm talking to, they got a lot of weight to lose, some of these people, but I'm not talking weight. I'm talking energy. Talking, how are you taking care of yourself? How do you feel? Are you constantly lethargic? Like, get to the feels. When you do start the conversation, it's more the feels. Like, yes, we can help you lose weight, but let's get you feeling good and strong and like yourself again. What else, Tanya? Questions, concerns, maybe a little helpful?
You were helpful.
Okay. Next week I'm out of town, but I still plan to jump on. If I end up canceling this or changing it, I'll make sure I let you guys know ahead of time. But next week I really want to talk about expanding our network. I hesitate a little bit about that, so I may change it up. I want us to expand our network, but I also don't want us to not talk to the people that we already have. We shouldn't already be through our network of people. But for somebody like Tanya, who's been doing this for a little bit now, I also want to talk more about expanding it, how we expand it, where we can expand it, and why you want to start expanding it, even though that's not necessarily who you're reaching. Because we don't ever want to have to do like a cold call or a cold invite. And if you're familiar with sales, you've heard that term before. But we don't want to be just inviting somebody that we don't know at all and have no connection to. But if you're slowly and continuously expanding your network, you're always meeting and knowing and learning about people, so that when it does come time to do an invite, it's not cold. So I kind of am thinking I want to go in that direction. There's a good video that I'm going to watch. So if I can't jump on, I may just share that. But I will let you know for sure what that next week looks like. If you have something that you want to know more about, or you're having a problem, let us know. We can check your social media, we can look at it together, or we can share screenshots of conversations. But again, I want to help you guys move forward as much as you want to move forward, and at the rate that you want to do it. So let me know how I can better serve you. With that, I'm going to hit end to the recording and